there were no clear stratification, you know, layers with nicely put down, yes, with Neolithic, and then above that there would be early Atlantic, and above that there would be Middle Atlantic. That is the ideal concept, you know, of the site. But here everything was sort of mixed up, and in those days it was not always known how to date this material. So there have been some corrections through the years when we have more comparative material from excavated sites with better stratigraphy. We can make corrections sometimes to what has been put down as incorrectly in his publication. But overall, he did, I think, a splendid work in those days. It was, I think it still is. My aim is eventually to come back, if possible. It's like Chios, next to Turkey. People have come from there to Ioselias during archaic times. That is, now we're talking about the 6th century BC, roughly. And from all over the Peloponnese, for sure. There are influences, you see pottery from Corinth, from Argolid, from Mycenae, from Messenia, and from that region. Lots of it from Laconia, from Sparta. So all over Peloponnese, but also from what we say non-Greek areas like Chios in those days, and also Attica. We have little fragments, but still fragments of Attic pottery that's been left up on Ioselias. Panathinaik amphoras, if you know what they are. They are beautiful. We don't have any of that here, do we? Panathinaik amphora.
Where have you found it?
We have little fragments of that from the sanctuary, Ioselias, yes.
Probably somebody from Asea who had won a prize at Athens. And
yes, yes. And they were known as mercenaries. That's Björn's idea. He has picked up on that they were known as soldiers, fighting, possibly then, on different countries, coming back to Asea and making these offerings to their god, or as competitors in the athletic games, winning, perhaps in wrestling or something like that, pancratio, whatever it's called. They were apparently strong, good fighters, and strong. Björn, what were they as competitors good at, the Arcadians?
Pancration.
Boxing, yes. And wrestling, okay. So I'm not far off. But anyway, I'm not sure. It might be that they still are. I don't know. Have you been good at on top of it? Yes. So it's not only the orchestra, which is interesting, the new cult place that we found next to it, but also the temple site on top of the mountain to find out who was the deity, who was the god, or were there several gods? Sometimes they change. They start out being dedicated to one, and then another one takes over. So.
And any indications about what people were living in Asea area during the medieval ages or the Byzantine ages?
In Asea, we think that they have been, Björn is actually the one who should say this, but talk about this. Björn, do you want to take over? We think they have been up on top of the mountain.
I guess Elias.
At some stage at least.
Yes, because there are lots, our geographer or whatever, he plotted on the map, excavation map that we have, what we think are the house remains that are up on top, around the temple site. And there are lots of them, and it's certainly enough to be a village. But how to date it, I don't know. Björn, do we know? Can we say anything about the date on that?
14th century.
14th.
Yes.
And then nothing.
Pottery coins.
Yes, but I mean the village, would it end in the? They started up in the 14th century.
Defines, we have the